Hi, I'm Ramona from Divine Inspiration, actually Healing Inspiration. I've changed it. And I just want to talk a little bit about emotions. A lot of times we think that having emotions at all is a bad thing unless they're happy, good emotions. We assume just the fact that we have anxiety or we feel depressed or sad that it's really a bad thing. But in fact, it's not. An emotion is and can be in response to, a real event. Anger, for example. If you feel there's been an injustice done or someone has wronged you or someone else that you loved, or if you feel hurt over something, anger could be a natural emotion. Usually anger is a secondary emotion, but nevertheless, anger is natural. Avoiding emotions doesn't help the situation. It doesn't, in fact, make emotions go away. Avoiding them actually makes them build up and to come out at a later date if you suppress them, or they can build up and they can become depression. They can create this emotional state within you because you haven't dealt with it, you haven't moved through the emotion. Or anxiety. We want to get rid of anxiety. But anxiety, in part, is a normal response to stress. For example, it is trying to tell you something. It is not there to harm you. It's a message. Every one of your emotions are messages. So if you feel sadness when you've had a loss, that is normal. You have grief. And it doesn't necessarily just go away just because you do have to work through it. And it's not only time that makes it go away. You can lessen emotions with time, for sure, but a lot of times you have to process it. It doesn't just go away. And it may not be that you have to just process it once. You may have to go through it a lot of times to really deal with the situation. Also, we can have emotions that at some point were a natural response to our situation that we did not deal with at the time, that continue to haunt us and continue to come up in certain ways. They can come up in anxiety, in depression, in all kinds of, in fear. And that's because they weren't dealt with. And you will realize that you have this when there's a trigger. Now, a trigger is something that may not seem rational as to why this event would cause you to feel emotional or feel angry or feel anxious. I know I've had times where it's like I felt anxious because I had to go get gas. Put gas in my car. It gave me anxiety. But there was something underlying that. There's some anxiety that I had not dealt with in my past. And it was something I had to work through. So emotions are messages. They tell you about your unconscious thought processes, sometimes your conscious thought processes. They tell you if you've had a loss. They tell you if you feel danger. They tell you, they are messengers. And they're energy in motion. Therefore, they need to be expressed in one way or another if they're there. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be regarded and honored. And I will talk more about how to process emotions and how to deal with them. Basically, how to utilize them as a tool rather than seeing them as a burden. Because I know there's been times in my life I did not want emotions at all. None of them, don't want to deal with them. And I mean, there's still times I don't want to deal with anger and fear and upset, depression, none of those things, sadness, guilt, shame. But there is a purpose behind these emotions. They're a reflection of your thought process, of your experience, of your values, of your hopes and dreams, of a threat to your hopes and dreams, to your values, to yourself, to another person, to an injustice. They can put energy behind what you want to accomplish. If you feel like there's been an injustice, anger comes up. Often anger is a mask for hurt. But that can put energy into behind motion toward doing something good, doing something right, creating justice. Just like sadness. Sadness makes you feel like you've lost something, you've lost someone. You've failed at something or feel like you failed at something. It's loss. It means you value something, you love something, and it's not in your life anymore, and it's a natural thing. So one of those things to look at when you're experiencing emotions is this emotion rational? Does this emotion make sense to this event? If so, it's completely natural. Allow that emotion. In another video, I'll talk about how to process those emotions. The second question is this emotion not directly related to a particular event right now? Or if it is triggered by a particular event, if you are aware that this emotion feels like an overreaction, now that is something else. It has to be dealt with in a different way. Or is this a chronic reaction, a chronic emotional state, like your default? You get anxiety all the time. Just about everything causes anxiety. All kinds of things cause anxiety. Or depression. A constant state of sadness. And in those cases, there's a different way to handle it. There's some similarities, but nevertheless, your best bet is to not resist your emotion. Embrace your emotion. That doesn't mean to act on it immediately. It doesn't mean to go beat somebody up, even if you may want to, or ram into their car when they cut you off in traffic, or call your spouse or significant other names. That might not be the best use of that emotion right then. But I do hope to help you and guide you with my prior experience and how I have learned to deal with a lot of emotional states. I've dealt with current and past emotions, heartbreak, depression, anxiety. I think I've worked through abandonment issues and divorce issues and all kinds of different issues, raising children and all those things that come with that. And I have learned the purpose of emotions, for the most part, how to process emotions, how to deal with them, how to look at them, how to value them, how to put them to use. Not only for me, but for others, to be the gas behind in the car that I use to head towards my dreams and head towards the life I want. And I hope to be able to guide you in that situation as well, to live the life you want, be the best you can be, and use your emotions as they were meant to be as a tool to live your best life, to be the best you, to create the life you want. And your emotions, your feelings are there, and they can help you do it. So thank you for watching, and either you can like, you can subscribe, and we'll see about more content. Have a great day and be blessed. Goodbye.